I want to spend this next 20 minutes with Julian Walker. I was excited to have him on, Senior Vice President of Communications with VHHA, Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association. And Julian put together a fantastic video honoring all of our Virginia frontline medical workers, the great job they did, the risks they put themselves under. And we have it up. We're going to play it in a minute. But first, Julian Walker, thanks for coming on with us. Julian, you guys have done a fabulous job.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
You know, really, in all of the politicization of what is going on right now, a lot of people are upset by it, me and others, on equal sides, okay? One thing we have to do is take time out, Julian, and recognize the great job hospitals have done, our medical personnel, first liners have done, many of them without the proper equipment, many of them working, 18, 20 hours a day, not getting any sleep, putting themselves at risk. And the video that you guys put out with many people honoring them was really fantastic.
As you said, this is a video that the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association team worked on. It came together in about 5 days. We're all really proud of it. And the goal of this is really just to have a public display of a great showing of support and appreciation for all these frontline healthcare providers, the doctors, the nurses, the first responders, public safety folks, and on and on. All of these folks, who are in harm's way and risking themselves to respond to this pandemic. And so we wanted to make this bipartisan. We asked every living governor, Republicans and Democrats. We have the current governor. We have former governors at both U.S. senators now, Tim Kaine and Mark Warner. We have former governors Jim Gilmore and George Allen and Bob McDonnell. And we have many celebrities. We have actress Olivia Wilde. We have comedian Patton Oswalt. We wanted to make this a cross-section of Virginia. So we have Timberland, the Grammy-winning hip-hop producer from Hampton Roads, and we have the Statler brothers, the Country Music Hall of Fame inductees from Stanton, and Coach Tony Bennett, the NCAA champion basketball coach from UVA, and legendary Virginia Tech football coach Frank Beamer, and Miss America 2020, who's a VCU student studying pharmacy, and so many others, NFL Hall of Famer Bruce Smith, and ESPN SportsCenter anchor Jay Harris, who went to ODU, and so many other folks are in this. And again, we just want to say thank you to everybody that gave of their time to participate in this. And again, this is all about just supporting the healthcare workers and the frontline first responders who are doing this work at great risk to themselves and their families.
Thank you to all the healthcare heroes working in Virginia right now on the front lines.
Thank you guys for putting yourselves at risk every single day selflessly in the Virginia hospital system.
Thank you to all the Virginia doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers.
I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And being from Virginia is showing my love. Thank you.
To all the Virginia doctors, nurses, first responders, healthcare providers,
for being on the front lines. Thank you for giving us confidence that we will get through this.
Thank you to all of the Virginia doctors, nurses, first responders, and healthcare providers.
I just want to say thank you to all of the Virginia doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers who are working so hard to keep us safe.
I want to say a special thanks to all of our healthcare workers on the front lines of this epidemic.
Sacrificing so much so that the rest of us can be safe.
I just want to say thank you to all the Virginia doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers.
And I just want to say thank you to all the Virginia doctors,
nurses, and healthcare workers who are working so hard
for keeping us all safe during this very difficult time.
I wanted to take a moment and say thank you to all the Virginia doctors, nurses, and health professionals.
On behalf of a grateful Commonwealth, I want to say thank you.
I want to pause and thank all of our frontline workers for the extraordinary job that they are doing.
And I just want to say a big thank you.
And I just want to say thank you
for all the work they're doing to keep us safe.
On behalf of Harold and Phil and Jimmy and myself, we just want to say thank you to all the Virginia doctors and nurses and healthcare workers.
I would like for all the great people of the state of Virginia to stand with me as we salute all the doctors, all the nurses, all the healthcare crews, and all the cleaning crews who do such an amazing job of keeping the state of Virginia safe.
And I just want to say thank you to all the Virginia doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers out there
for the incredible sacrificial work that you're doing.
You are heroes, and we appreciate you so much.
I want to thank all Virginia doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers.
And I wanted to take a minute to thank our doctors, nurses,
paramedics, and EMTs here and first responders around the state who are working hard to keep us safe.
To our support staff who enable us to do everything that we do. To those continuing to care for all of our patients during this really challenging time.
Thank you for your dedication to your patients at this time of their greatest need.
Go Monarchs. I just want to say thank you so much, and you are very much appreciated. Stay safe. Peace.
Thank you for being heroes to a lot of us. Please keep each other safe.
You not only are heroes, you're our angels.
It's very humbling to be sending you this message while I'm doing my part, which consists of sitting on my butt.
You are all heroes, and we appreciate you.
Remember, Virginia, let's keep the faith, and we have to stand together to defend against this virus.
On behalf of this university, I want to thank all of the Commonwealth's doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers on the front line.
Thank you to all of our Virginia doctors, nurses, and healthcare providers.
God bless you, and thanks for all you do.
You're doing a great job keeping us all safe, and we appreciate you.
You are all heroes, and we appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you, and we salute each and every one of you for your great service. Thank you.
You are heroes, and we appreciate you.
You are the true heroes, and we appreciate you.
Virginia Nation strong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. What a great tribute and a fabulous job that you've done on this. And how did you put that together so fast? I mean, I heard so many celebrities on there, one after the other, all the former governors and a lot of big-time politicians. Tony Bennett, I heard coach from Old Dominion. How did you get somebody in a week? So many people.
It's just, like I said, it was just a real team effort here at the association. The idea came up about last Thursday night and got it approved internally and really began work on it in earnest on Friday. And, I will certainly acknowledge that there were some tense moments and some stress because, we had folks who committed to the project, but we were sort of waiting to actually get the video in hand from a lot of these folks. I would say by, Wednesday of last week, we had the vast majority of videos in hand, and so basically between Wednesday and Thursday, we just did a lot of the editing work and sort of the refinement and the polishing to get it ready to go out on Friday. So yeah, we turned it all around in a week's time. And again, the focus here should be on the healthcare heroes, who are being honored by this video. They are doing such important work, and they all deserve our praise and our thanks. And then, again, just a thank you to everyone who participated. As we said, all the elected leaders, Virginia governors, Governor Northam, Senators Warner and Kane, Governor McDonnell, Governor Allen, Governor Gilmore, Governor McAuliffe, NBA champion Ben Wallace, who went to Virginia Union University, is in there. Elliot and Hermie Sadler, NASCAR drivers from the Emporia area, are in there. Many university presidents from VCU and ODU and JMU and William and Mary, and on and on and on. I mean, so many folks in there. We just want to thank them as well for their participation. And I'm leaving out many people, but there were just so many folks that participated, and we greatly appreciate what they did.
Well, look, great job with that, Julian, and the Hospital Association, the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association has been just fantastic in this. And, one of the realities of it, I wanted to get back to this issue. Hospitals did the right thing. I mean, they set the beds aside for potential COVID-19 cases. In reality, there's still about over 4,000 beds open and available. No elective procedures yet, but Virginia hospitals are losing upwards of $600 million a month because, they have to turn work away. So, some non-essential workers are getting laid off in various hospitals. They're going to have to make their shortfall up. The modeling has been off. I don't want to get into any politics with you at all, because I'm here really to just honor what your organization has done, what hospitals have done, and what frontline workers have done. But there's also financial reality. Your guys are losing $600 million a month. A lot of these hospitals in some of the more rural areas of Virginia hanging by a thread anyway. What happens?
Well, yes, absolutely, and thanks for the question, John. So at this point, several states were, as you noted, that Virginia hospitals and health systems for the past month effectively have postponed or canceled non-emergency elective procedures. And our members did that in many cases even prior to Governor Northam's order on the subject, precisely to preserve personal protective equipment because it's in short supply and there have been supply chain issues, and also to free up bed space, bed capacity in the event of a medical surge. As you and your audience know, VHHA has created a COVID-19 data dashboard about hospitalizations. Right now there are about 1,331 hospitalizations for COVID-19 patients. There have been about 1,400 discharges. We've been tracking ventilator use and bed availability. Right now, there are about 5,500 beds available in Virginia hospitals. And so, again, you know, the postponement of the elective procedures was to preserve medical supplies in this pandemic period and to make sure that there was bed space in the event that there was a significant influx of patients. Now, obviously, the numbers move around every day. The current COVID hospitalizations, that number I gave you, 1,331, that's up 35 from yesterday. That said, in terms of an overall trend line, we've been fairly consistent, at least over the last week, in that 1,300 current hospitalization number, and in terms of the beds available, we've been pretty consistent in that 54, 55, 5,600 beds available in Virginia hospitals. Same thing with ventilator availability. Our total ventilator usage has varied between about 22% and 26% or so of ventilators. So there is capacity in the hospital and healthcare system. And as you point out, because our members have postponed these procedures, they're foregoing significant revenue precisely at a time when they're investing more in the resources necessary to respond to this pandemic. And so, as you said, a survey of our members indicates that the expected revenue loss will exceed $600 million in a 30-day period. And so that's really significant. And so, the next conversation, or one of the next conversations, as you heard yesterday, the governor talked about working on testing availability. We've got many of our members who are conducting in-house tests, but there have still been challenges with access to testing and with the processing of testing, whether we're talking about government labs, the turnaround time, or whether we're talking about private laboratory companies. So testing continues to be a big challenge. But yes, to your question, there's also this outstanding question of whether or not and when we will be allowed to resume these non-elective procedures. Several states have already gone this route. There was just an announcement the other day. I believe Texas, Georgia, Nebraska are among those who have gone this route, and several more states late yesterday came online and indicated that they were going to begin resumption of these non-elective procedures. Governor Northam referenced it the other day and said it's something that's being evaluated, but in terms of a final decision, we're still waiting to see. And that list of states is Georgia, Nebraska, South Carolina, Indiana, Tennessee, and then Washington State and New York have signaled that they're looking to begin easing restrictions. And then, as I mentioned, Texas, Oklahoma, and Alaska have issued executive orders to allow states to perform some elective procedures. And then, obviously, the President and the White House last week also issued some guidance on this. So that's an open question here in Virginia. Obviously, it has financial implications for healthcare providers. We're working with the governor and waiting to see what the next line of guidance from him is going to be on that subject.
So we're with Julian Walker, Senior Vice President of Communications for the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association, put together a fabulous video honoring so many frontline workers in the medical field that have worked so hard during this pandemic, and we appreciate that and glad to be able to honor them as well in playing the video. Julian, but let me get to some facts here, because a lot of policy decisions are being made now that are affecting many, many lives. As consistent, Virginia hospitals have made 5,600 potential COVID-19 beds available. Currently, you're averaging about 1,300 patients. That's flatlined, right? 12 to 1,300, which gives about 4,300 available beds for COVID-19 cases should they materialize and people have to get hospitalized. Your ventilator utilization capacity is running 22 to 25%. Flip it around, 75% of the available ventilators are sitting in storage or not being utilized. So people see this, Julian, people that can't put food on the table because their business is closed. The guy in Roanoke just got locked up for trying to have somebody doing his personal training business. So I don't want to get into the politics, but the beds are available. Should there be a spike or something, I mean, the beds are there, right? I mean, there's tell me there's not something that I'm missing.
No, as you said, I mean, right now there are just shy of 5,500 beds available in Virginia hospitals. The current number, and this is updated as of this morning, is 5,465 beds available. So there's certainly capacity. Again, I mean, there's some modeling that suggests, that the peak intensity here in Virginia may still be, days or a week or so away. So that remains to be seen, but yes, there are certainly beds available, and hospitals have made sacrifices, as I said, financial sacrifices, to ensure that there is that additional capacity available. And so, the questions about when we resume non-emergency elective procedures, because there are people that, whose procedures are on hold, who need those procedures, that's an important question, and one that ultimately, the governor will have to weigh in on. And, similarly to the question you're raising about, the resumption of economic activity more generally in the economy, again, those are questions that I know the president has weighed in with his desires. Obviously, he is consulting with the medical experts. Governor Northam here in Virginia is a physician; is also consulting with the medical experts, and so it's a delicate balance to strike between making sure that we're doing everything necessary to safeguard public health, while also, being mindful of the economy, because we are all participants in and plugged into the economy, and that is a critical consideration as well. So the decision makers, are working through that, and hopefully will arrive at some determinations here in the near future.
The bottom line is the VHHA, the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association, has done their job, right? You have done your part, your organization, your hospitals. You have the ventilators available that you need to. You have the beds available. You've done everything you need to do. Now you're saying, okay, we're losing $600 million a month, and people need, when you say elective surgery, it's kind of annoying to me, because it's almost like, well, what are you talking about elective surgery? Like getting a facelift or something? I know people right now that have hip injuries, leg injuries. I've got a friend of mine that tore his rotator the other week, can't get in. I mean, it's like non-essential businesses. I mean, there's people that elective surgeries, can he live by not being able to raise his arm up? Yeah. Is it painful? Yeah. Does he need to get it repaired? Yeah. Can he go into the hospital? No. So elective surgeries is not, it's a term that I think is thrown around, and you think, well, you're getting a face job or something. It has nothing to do with that, right?
Right. Yeah. Elective broadly.
It's not a nose job.
Right. Elective broadly means anything that is not an emergency and is therefore scheduled. But to your point, John, there are a wide range of, under that umbrella definition, there are a wide range of procedures that it captures. And that, as you said, that could include everything from a hip replacement or a knee replacement to, could be an organ transplant. It could be, a valve replacement to make sure that your circulatory system is working properly and keeping you alive. So yeah, it can cover elective procedure. Generally means a scheduled procedure. That's not something that's an emergency. You show up, to the hospital at the emergency department and you are diagnosed and they say you need emergency surgery now. That's not elective. That's an emergency procedure. Anything else that is scheduled, which can range from, as you said, something that improves quality of life to something that can be potentially life-sustaining, those are all broadly grouped under the elective or scheduled procedure category.
All right, we're out of time. I want to thank Julian Walker for his hard work. Great video, Julian. Thanks for putting that together and honoring our frontline medical workers for all the hard work that they've done in their jobs and working overtime and putting themselves at risk. Thank you for doing that. And VHHA right there, I mean, they're doing everything as anybody's asked them to do. 4,300 beds open, 75% of their ventilators open. They're all there in case we need them. Let's hope we do not. Hey, Julian, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, John. And just tell your audience, www.vhha.com is where they can see our COVID-19 data dashboard and where they can see the video and get all kinds of resources on COVID-19. So vhha.com is the place to go.